Today, we celebrate what would have been Danny Verner's 97th birthday. She was our founder, as you know, and her vision for Mountain Area Child and Family Center, now Verner, in her honor and in Hugh's, was a place where all children would be valued and where all children would receive the highest quality early care and education that they would need for a good beginning in life. But not just that, it would be a place where families could have resources and get the support that they needed to be strong parents so that they would have strong children and families. You know, when you have loved a place and nurtured it for 14 years, your biggest concern is whether the new leadership will carry the dream that you held so tenderly that Danny started. I can tell you that if Danny were here today, she, like I am, would be smiling, bursting with pride, and very confident that the new leadership here at Verner, the president and CEO, Marcia, and the board chair, John, with a strong board and staff, have this organization in very good hands. After you hear Marcia's update and the rest of the program, I have no doubt that you will agree. Marcia?
Thank you, Jackie. You're too kind, and it is truly an honor every single day to be honoring your work, your vision, and the vision of Danny and Hugh. It's such a thrill also to have so many family members with us today. And it is just such an honor every single day to be holding that vision at the very forefront of every decision that we make. What's best for our children and families, and how can we be of service to them today? I am so honored and touched by the generosity of all the Gift of Wonder donors, and the honor that showed to Jackie for her incredible 14 years of service that we are carrying forward and building upon every single day. The Gift of Wonder campaign has made a world of difference in the stability of Verner and in ensuring a really smooth leadership transition 2 years ago. I echo Jackie's appreciation of Sue McClinton and Jenny Evelyn's leadership in co-chairing the campaign with the support of so many others. And I'm not sure if you all heard the total campaign gift amount, but it exceeded $133,000. That is amazing. And what that means is that your gifts have meaningfully impacted the entire Verner community, our staff, our faculty, and most importantly, our children and families throughout, and also especially during COVID-19. This campaign created a cushion that allowed us to make some really difficult decisions among less than ideal choices at the time COVID-19 was taking over the world and all of our lives. Our board and staff leadership knew that it was critical to do the right thing at that moment in mid-March when we had to make really fast decisions about how we were going to go forward. And our board and staff leadership agreed that the right thing to do was to continue to pay our staff and faculty their full salary and benefits so that they could survive, and also to not be charging our parents, our families, tuition and other fees they would normally be having to pay during a time that many of them were losing their jobs and having all kinds of financial struggles. And because we had the Gift of Wonder campaign and the cash reserves of that campaign in our bank account, we were able to make that decision to do the right thing. So it's really you all that made that possible, and we could not be more grateful for your support in that work. I want you to know how incredible it's been throughout this entire bizarre pandemic period of time for the last couple of months. Verner has definitely not been closed, we have changed our service delivery model. We have been able to support our children and families every single day with amazing curriculum, mental health supports, child development supports, health supports, and most importantly, for all of our families who are struggling, and as you know, about 80% of our families are living in low wealth, all of those families who've requested it, we've been able to provide them with healthy food on a weekly basis, with diapers, wipes, formula, whatever their family needed, in addition to all of the family advocate and other supports we've been providing to them every day. It's really just been beautiful to see our team and everything that our team has done. We're all working really hard, just differently and very creatively. And that's all because of you and what you have done. Another piece that's been really helpful to us, we were really fortunate. We were able to acquire a Paycheck Protection Program forgivable loan, which really has been a game changer for us. And we've gotten that, other forgivable loans, other grants from different community sources that have been stepping up during COVID-19. And what all that's doing is allowing us to replace the cash reserves that Gift of Wonder gave us the flexibility to put into that safety net at the time that we needed to make fast decisions. So we're thrilled, and we know that you all are continuing to support us and that we'll receive other operating gifts, other grants, other loans, hopefully over the course of this pandemic to sustain us over the difficult road ahead. I bet you would love to hear some news that has absolutely nothing to do with COVID-19 and that is continuing really strong despite COVID-19. And that is, you all will recall that back in 2017, Werner expanded our programs, added a whole second early Head Start grant to add 5 classrooms to create a new Werner Central in partnership with Asheville City Preschools and the YWCA. Right as Jackie was getting ready to retire in 2018, Asheville City Preschools told us they're expanding their programs, they needed their space back. So here's Jackie trying to wrap up a 14-year career at Werner, suddenly had to pivot, shift gears, and find temporary partnerships to help us have some place to continue supporting those children and families, while at the same time we were figuring out a permanent solution for our new Werner Central. So we had a temporary partnership, continuing with the YWCA and building a new temporary partnership with Community Action Opportunities at Pisgah View Head Start. It's been a great partnership, and both of those organizations are continuing to grow and expand their own services. So we're trying to be good partners and figure out what's our next best permanent step so that our children and families at Werner Central have a permanent place to be. And we have found the most beautiful partnership with Buncombe County and with Buncombe County Schools to build a brand new Werner Central on the campus of Emma Elementary School, which also happens to be the place where Children First Communities and Schools is headquartered. So it's just perfect and beautiful. You're going to be hearing a lot more about that partnership from Jasmine and Suzanne in just a couple of minutes. I just want to underline how critical Buncombe County's support has been in, one, creating the connection between Werner and BCS so that we could form this strong and truly mutually beneficial partnership. Buncombe County, as you know, has identified early education as one of their 6 strategic priorities, and that has been a game changer for many, many high-quality early education entities in our community that are all focused on making sure that every child and family gets the best possible start in life, no matter what the background, no matter what the color of their skin. Every child deserves this care. So in partnership with our county commissioners, I want to turn over the reins to someone who needs absolutely no introduction. Jasmine Beach Ferrara, as you know, has been an incredible county commissioner since 2016. She also chairs the county's Early Childhood Education and Development Fund, and she'll share with you some exciting tentative news about that. It's really hard to imagine an elected official, or honestly any human being, with greater passion and commitment for children and families in early education. So it is with that I have the distinct pleasure of turning over the mic to Jasmine.
Thank you so much, Marcia. Hello to everyone out there. I really wish that we could be together in person, but I'm glad to be together. My name again is Jasmine Beach Ferrara. I'm honored to serve as one of your county commissioners and honored to chair the Early Childhood Education and Development Fund. I want to just share kind of a few remarks on that. And I believe that as part of the time slot I have, there's also a video that will be shared and some images of the site plans for the center at Emma, which is just such a tremendously exciting project. Let me just begin by saying I know this is a really unprecedented time in our community, and I want to just extend support to everyone who's on this call, both around the COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis of that, and then around the crisis of racism and racist violence that we are experiencing and in the throes of right now. And in some ways, both those things are a segue, I think, into, at least for me personally, why my commitments around early childhood education run so deep, which is really believing that one of the ways we can be most serious about equity in our community, most serious about racial equity in particular, is to do everything possible to make sure that the moment a child arrives in this world, they are treated with love and they have every single opportunity to thrive. And we know that for too many of our children in Buncombe County, because of the color of their skin, because of the circumstances they're born into, there are just too many barriers. And we need to change that. And the incredible news, the incredible thing that's happening is that there is such will to do so. And I don't need to say that to y'all. Y'all have been on the front lines of this issue for decades. For many of you, this is your life's passion and work. So this is the definition of preaching to the choir. But in moments like the one we're living through, I also think we need to connect the dots and name the ways in which our commitments around early childhood education and development are connected to, I think for many of us, for all of us, perhaps our deepest values and convictions about what it means to treat people with dignity and what it means to fight for our children, and how we know that the true measure of who we are as a community, as a society, is how we treat our children. So all of that is part of what got us to the launch of the Early Child Education Fund at Buncombe County several years ago, which brings with it, for now, a $3.6 million annual commitment to supporting the expansion of access to quality early childhood education. My hope, and something I will be working hard to advocate for, is that we can grow that funding commitment in the years to come. This is obviously a time of some financial austerity at the level of county government, but I hope as we move through this time, we can begin having conversations about how to grow that fund. I would like to see it be at least double 3.6 million, even triple. I think we'd really be able to start moving the needle. But what we're doing with that $3.6 million annually right now is having the opportunity to support really extraordinary local projects that are locally envisioned, locally designed, and locally run. And the collaboration between Verner and Buncombe County Schools, to me, precisely embodies why we launched this fund and why we knew it was so critical to bring some additional resources and substantial resources into the local ecosystems. We knew the ideas were there, we knew the passion was there, but for folks who work in the field, you have to fight way too hard for every dollar of funding. And my hope is that we can change that story so that teachers are getting paid what they deserve, so that schools, early childhood centers are resourced in the way they need to be, and so that every single family that wants to access quality early childhood education can do so. The project that Verner and Buncombe County Schools have brought forth speaks to the intersections of all the intent of this fund and also the type of scale that we need to be working at in order to truly change the story and truly move the needle. And that might be a good segue perhaps into the video and looking at the site design and looking at the ways that, there'll be 84 slots at this center, and its relationship to Emma Elementary and other local partners make it exactly the kind of center that can do the service delivery that we know extends beyond just what happens in the classroom, but includes the other types of needs children and family have. So I want to thank all of you for being champions of this issue, for being truly on the front lines of it, and for creating a community in which what we see now is that pretty much every single person I talk to believes it's a good idea to expand support and funding for early childhood education. They think it's a no-brainer, no matter what their political affiliation is, no matter what their walk of life is. And that's because you all have done such incredible work to build that level of support and will. And I'm motivated and inspired and fired up to see what we can do together moving forward. And I think the project that you all will be building at the Emma site will be one of the pillars and centerpieces of what we're doing in this next decade here around expanding access to early childhood education. So I will, with this, I think, turn it over to the wonderful team at Werner to queue up some of the materials they wanted to share.
I'm thrilled to be here today on the site where our new Early Childhood Education Center will be built. The Buncombe County Early Child Education and Development Committee is thrilled to support this project with a grant as part of our new county fund. This center will serve 80 children, and it's exactly the kind of project that we need in our community to ensure that every single child has access to quality early childhood education and has an equal opportunity to thrive.
We believe every child deserves a great start in life and success in school, college, and career. We are thrilled to partner with Werner on this exciting project, and we're so appreciative of the partnership we have with Buncombe County government to fund and build these quality child care centers so that families and children have a place to learn. On this site, we will have 10 Werner classrooms.
Werner currently serves 250 children and families over 4 programs in Buncombe County, and is the only early Head Start provider in the county. At Werner, high quality early education combined with well-trained teachers, excellent learning environment engages families in their child's development.
I'm so excited about the new building that Central is going to have, where we can continue to serve children and families. I'm excited to see all the new, great, amazing, wonderful learning opportunities that will take place here for children and families and the community of Emma.
As a parent, I'm excited to see what Werner and children and families will do at this new facility near Emma. And I'm hoping that with this new facility, it will help other families as well as mine, since childcare is really needed in the area. Always parents want to go back to work, go to school, so I'm hoping that this will benefit lots of families, including me.
At Werner, we know that the first 2,000 days are the most important days in a child's life. 95% of their brain development occurs during this time. We strive to make sure that those 2,000 days are filled with love, compassion, respect, and above all, learning. We are so excited to partner with Buncombe County Schools to build this new site here at Emma Elementary.
I'm thrilled to turn things over to Suzanne as the next speaker, who I have the great honor of getting to collaborate with, and she will walk you through more about this project. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Jasmine, and thank you. The video says so much about the partnership and the excitement of Werner and Buncombe County Schools and our county commissioners. We certainly want to thank them for recognizing the need for more access for families to early childhood education and quality early childhood education. And so I'm happy to be celebrating the history of Werner and the vision of Werner. So thank you for inviting me today. Let me tell you just a little bit about the project. It is in the second year, or starting our second year. We have the design process complete, and we are in the permitting stage right now. So this summer we should see lots of activity. And by the way, this was the last day of school for Buncombe County students, and it was quite a sad last day because they weren't with us to see their faces when they said goodbye. But I did happen to go to Emma, and some students were there picking up some of their end of year materials, and the school is very excited to have Werner on their campus. And I think that speaks volumes because Emma is a true community school. It's a very diverse elementary school. At last count, there were students from 18 different countries. In membership at Emma, they speak at least 8 to 10 different languages, and it is very welcoming. And I think that's important when you have a community school and you have a campus that's home to young children and going into the pathway of an elementary school. It's important that there's collaboration and partnering. and they do have lots of partners. We're very happy to have Werner as our partner. I think having Children First community in school so that parents have greater access and support is a perfect location. So we're excited to see more activity on that campus this summer. If you ride up North Louisiana Avenue, you will look and see M Elementary, and then look in the field behind, and you will start to see the U building coming up very, very soon. So great value in having that location. We're excited to also partner in terms of our teachers. We have an early childhood education program throughout some of our Buncombe County schools, and it's a career technical education program. And what it does is it gets high school students interested in being preschool teachers. And what better work experience than to be in a childcare setting, a high quality childcare setting, and want to be a teacher. So we're excited to have our students be able to participate in that as well. I think our community has much more work to do, and as Jasmine mentioned, in getting teacher salaries so that we have an interest in becoming preschool teachers, because we only want the best for our youngest learners. It's so important that we think about those first 2,000 days, and we think about the impact of how students transition into elementary school, then to intermediate, middle, and high, and then to college careers, and how that impacts our total community. So thanks to all of you for supporting this project. Thanks to the county commissioners for believing and making early childhood education a strategic priority. And thanks to Marcia and John and all the partners at Werner. We can't wait to see these classrooms filled with children, and we're hoping that COVID will be mitigated and that we can see their faces in the future. Thank you very much. And now I want to turn it over to my friend and one of our great early childhood champions, Jenny Evelyn.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited about looking at everybody's names. I wish I could see you and be with you, but I hope you all are well. So crazy days. First, I want to thank Jasmine and Suzanne. You both are knowledgeable and dedicated champions for children whose words and actions are really, really making a difference in the lives of young children and their families in Buncombe County. So thank you so much. This collaboration is very exciting. So along with everyone's generous donations, another important aspect of strengthening our early care and education system is engagement in public policy advocacy. We are fortunate in Western North Carolina to have a very coordinated community of experienced policy advocates. These advocates work with the staff of the Division of Child Development and Early Education and with our policymakers in the General Assembly to help move forward policies and public funding for quality early care. One exceptional regional advocacy collaboration is the Western North Carolina Early Childhood Coalition. And Marcia, representing Werner, is a very active member of this coalition. This coalition leads our state in addressing the inequities between counties in early child care subsidy allocations. And you guessed it, we are persistent in this advocacy because Buncombe County and other Western North Carolina counties have significantly lower subsidy allocations than other North Carolina counties. The Western North Carolina Early Coalition also advocates with our statewide partners to ensure that early care and education has and will get significant attention in the state and federal COVID-19 responses. The mantra of these advocates is quality, accessible childcare is essential for children and families and the workforce. So we must invest more to build the early care and education system back better. Yes. So that's my mantra. So now I would like to turn it over to another good friend and a fellow advocate, Richard Cara, who's Werner's Vice President of Philanthropy, sorry, Richard, and Marketing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. I get to work with Jenny on advocacy and early education in a few different places. So I always appreciate getting to work with her. And she was an early Werner board member and is of course a longtime supporter of early ed throughout the community. So thank you, Jenny. And thank you to the other presenters today, John for kicking us off, and Jackie, of course, Marcia, and then Jasmine and Suzanne, thank you for how you partner with us and for making early education such a priority for our community. So thank you. And of course, thank you to all of you for participating on this beautiful spring day. You, of course, made the Gift of Wonder campaign a huge success, and you allow us to do everything that we do for children and families every day. It's your support, your leadership over the years that have made Werner what it is. Now, I know that you've all been connected to Werner in multiple ways over the years, both as donors, of course, but also as current and former board members, current and former staff and faculty, and really there from the very beginning when Danny had the vision for Werner, and have been supporting us all along. So it is wonderful to have everyone back together today. Thank you all for attending. It's your continued support too that will make Werner a success in the future, and Werner Central an amazing new expansion for our system. So thank you for that. We do have time for questions, and I want us to all get to connect. But before we do that, I wanted to also let you know that next year we'll be celebrating 20 years of our campus here on Riceville Road, where I am right now. And next June, we'll be having a 20th anniversary celebration. You will all receive an invitation to that. We don't have a date pinned down just yet. I want to check a few things before we announce a date next June for that, but I'll let you know. And we'll, of course, make sure you get an invitation, and we'll welcome you back to this site and really get to celebrate Danny and Hugh and all the founders that made this possible. So that'll be in June of 2021. So in the meantime, please stay connected. Visit the website, sign up for the newsletter, make sure we have your contact information, and our social media, Facebook, Instagram handles. It's Werner Asheville is how to stay connected with us there. There's the slide that you can see for both those. So if we, you can either put questions into chat, or we can kind of go back from the speaker view to gallery view, and I'm sure we can all connect. But so thank you all for coming today, for attending this event. I wish we could all be together. And I'd love to hear from some of you. There's everyone. And so you know how to use the chat. The chat's down at the bottom of the screen. Question. I know that Scott Werner is here.
Yes, and my wife Pat.
How are you?
Scott.
Birthday today. And John is here, John Werner Scott. And let's see.
We're getting a message that the host needs to turn on video.
Yeah.
So it wasn't us.
Jen. We have just enough people to do this. This is great. So Ashley is with us from Werner Central. Gabriel's now on. Kitty. Hey, Kitty. And
Everybody can start video now.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't start.
Laura Turkey, I want to say hello before you get caught in that storm. It's good to see you here. I want to see you. Where are you?
There's John.
Hi there.
Hi, John. Hi, John.
Hi, this is Scott. I'm unable to get the video on here.
Hi,
Oh,
Scott.
I don't see any video either. This is Patsy.
Click in the lower right-hand corner where it says
stop
Yeah, just
video start.
Mine says the lower left-hand corner.
lower left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see other people, but I don't see, I mean, I see people, I see Jackie right now. I don't see anybody else.
Okay.
Do gallery view.
Gallery view.
Gallery view.
I don't have a gallery thing.
Yeah, you do. Up at the top on the right.
Well,
Okay.
Presentation 101.
There we go. Yeah.
Good to see everybody. Nicely done, all you presenters. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Could I ask that this is Jackie. Could I ask Marcia and whoever else you might want to contribute? I think people would be really interested in how you have continued to serve children and families while you have been closed and in the midst of this pandemic.
Sure, I'd be happy to speak to that, and anyone who is directly involved in that work, feel free to jump in and add anything I may have missed. But as I mentioned earlier, because we had the cash reserves that were part of our organizational cash flow because of Gift of Wonder, when on March, I think it was the 14th, the governor announced that K-12 schools statewide would be closing on Monday the 16th. We as an organization spent 4 hours that night back and forth with our staff leadership team saying, okay, what do we do? How do we manage this? Along with many, many other planning entities. Suzanne was working that night too. And so we just had to figure out literally overnight, how do we possibly continue to keep everyone safe while also offering the amazing services and education and supports that we need to be providing to our children and families. So because we had the cash reserves and already our staff and board leadership had met prior to the governor's announcement, we were able to know that we had staff and board backing to make the decision to continue to pay our staff and faculty their full salary and benefits so they could stay employed, meet their own bills, not have to wonder if unemployment payments might possibly ever materialize, and be able to meet their families' needs while at the same time keeping everybody safe, because as you all know, better than we all know, there are so many unknowns about this particular illness, this particular disease. We didn't want to be exposing our team to that. We didn't want to be exposing the children and families to that. And we knew that with K-12 schools closing, about half of our workforce automatically had their own children in the K-12 school system that needed to be home. And that what were they going to do for childcare for their own children? So we were able to make the decision to support our team and our children and families through only remote-based service deliveries. So our staff and faculty was literally immediately recording story reading, going on hikes for children, modeling arts activities for children, all different kinds of amazing supports for children, setting up Marco Polo apps to be videoing back and forth with children, setting up time with classrooms together. You can imagine what it's like to have circle time with 2-year-olds. Amazing,
remotely,
magical connections with everyone's emotions and uncertainties and fears all swirling around. Our team I have never been more impressed with a group of colleagues just pulling it together, all the creativity. Everyone said, I know my role and how I can help. I'm jumping in with both feet, and everybody on our team just made it happen. And at the same time, our entire family engagement team, led by Whitney Smith, who's on this call, was able to say to our families, what do you need right now? What can Werner do to support you, even though we want to keep everyone safe? And so she set up this amazing whole group of people, so tons of kitchen and tons of staff and volunteers every week are getting boxes of food to our families who may not have transportation, who may not have access to get to the public schools that were offering free meals to families. Again, we were able to make the decision to start providing that food and those provisions immediately because we had organizational reserves from Gift of Wonder to be able to do that. And later, from Early Head Start, you have to keep your staff and faculty employed. you have to keep paying them. If somebody resigns you because they're moving out of state or whatever, you have to rehire for that position, even during COVID. So NC Pre-K, with Stacey Bailey's on the call and other partnership, we were able to keep NC Pre-K families served. Our subsidy families, we served them even not knowing if we would get any kind of reimbursement for those services. Fortunately, we are getting reimbursed for the months of April and May, and hope to be able to reopen. June 15 is our target date to have our centers again welcoming fewer children so that we can be safe and do all the health checks before anyone comes into the building. We're hoping to be able to return to normal center-based operations at Verner Central on June 15th, and then at Verner East and Verner West on June 16th. Again, we may have a COVID case that may cause us to throw it all back and reevaluate and close a center on short notice. But we're doing the best we can to prevent that. We can't eliminate risk, but we're doing the best we can to reduce risk and to try to keep everyone safe. And so it's such an amazing honor to be with this creative, passionate team. If anybody wants to see some of these adorable videos and powerful work in English and Spanish, I think in other languages as well, go to Verner Media on YouTube. And there's all just kinds of amazing things there that are resources. And one other amazing thing, I don't think anybody specifically mentioned in comments today, I really want to share the exciting news. It's not confirmed yet because our county commissioners are meeting on June 16, correct me if I'm wrong, Jasmine, to officially pass our county budget. But my understanding is that based on the recommendations of the Childhood Education and Development Fund, grant to Buncombe County Schools for the Verner Central project is currently in the draft budget, again, pending confirmation. If that budget passes, the whole Verner Central project will be fully funded over a multi-year period, and that's okay, we can figure out financing. So major news, I wanted to be sure you all knew that piece. And because construction and essential is considered an essential service during COVID-19, all of our construction and design work that Suzanne mentioned is continuing. So this work is happening. Our permitting is in process, as Suzanne mentioned. So it's really exciting. I don't know if anybody else on the team has anything to add, but I have just been floored by the work that's been happening even during this really bizarre period of time.
Marcia, you've done such a wonderful job bringing partners in, and our maintenance staff and Clark Wyatt has done a beautiful job of helping us navigate. And we are all learning from John and his work with opening a center. And it's been a true collaboration. So we are so thrilled to have the next leg of the journey. It's becoming more real. And again, we're going to welcome children on that campus very soon.
It's very true. It's amazing, all of the different pieces, and it's true. Clark Wyatt's amazing leadership of the entire design process and all of the construction and permitting and all of that work. He's just making sure we're all on it, making sure the planning is happening in the right way, in the right order to ensure success of this project. And the fact, as you mentioned, that Children and Friends in Black Mountain is in the finishing stages of building their own new center. We've been able to learn a lot. John's been very gracious sharing the information that he's had, the little bumps along the way that any project's going to have. I think we'll be able to hopefully avoid some of those thanks to the expertise that John and his team have shared with us as well.
If you want to see what a building looks like, our modulars are coming the 15th in 2 weeks. 14 modulars are coming. So if you want to come to Black Mountain and see what the Child Care Center will look like, it's exciting, but it's gray hair time. We're trying to do that. And I just want to add, I've had the privilege of serving for 2 years on the board. I just want to recognize Jasmine for her leadership in getting the funds, and the county commission. Jasmine, it's been unbelievable. The county commission 3 years ago, out of the clear blue, gave Children and Friends $200,000 to start the projects, and that's led to all of this extra money. And being on other committees, the impact that money and support from the county commission is making is just unbelievable good. And especially in this crisis stage, they're still coming out. Children still are a priority. So Jasmine, please share with the board on behalf of both centers how much we appreciate the county commission and the loyalty to children in this thing. So thank you.
I will absolutely pass that along, and I want folks to know it's the full county commission that's prioritizing this issue. People coming together around the issue that we all really care deeply around, and I will make sure to relay that message.
Thank you.
I wanted to give Jeannie Coleman a shout out for being part of our planning for the 20th anniversary. Thank you, Jeannie. So she's been great, along with Pat Sells and Jennifer Garrett. So they're our core team for planning the 20th anniversary. So you'll hear more from them.
I think I would just like to chime in and say, from everything that I'm hearing today, I can't imagine a more appropriate and incredible way to celebrate what would have been Mom's 97th birthday. You all, starting with Jackie and now with Marcia and everybody involved, have taken her dream and not only have made it a reality, but you've expanded on it, you've built upon it, and you're making it even better than what she had imagined. And I just thank you all for that. It takes an incredible amount of work. I happened to be around a little bit in the very earliest of days when she was struggling to get some early funding for this thing, and how frustrated she got and dejected she got at times. And to fast forward to now and see the progress that has been made and the continuing progress, the leadership, the continuing work, it's just amazing. And hats off to every single one of you.
I would like to add to that as well. This is Scott. I am exceedingly proud of the way everyone involved has carried the torch on that Mom lit and that Dad helped carry. And I just can't imagine better leadership, better work being done. I'm extremely excited about Verner Central. I think that's a terrific accomplishment, or will be when it's accomplished. And I want to continue to see this effort expand to whatever degree is possible. You know, I live in Concord. Pat and I live in Concord, and there is a need for childcare and childcare education here as well. And I'd like probably to talk with some of you expert folks on how we can start a partnership of some kind with existing providers and or schools to see what can be done here in the long run. Not at all to take away from anything that's being done there, which I am so proud of and so happy with. I could not be more pleased with the work that is being done, and you folks are so kind to include us as well in your talks and information, and that just I'm repeating myself now, but we're very, very, very proud.
Thank you, John and Scott. We appreciate you, and how you carry on the legacy that your parents left to us. Thank you.
You're the ones carrying it on.
You know me, I always have to say one more thing. But I had my script and I tried to stay to my time, and I think I did a darn good job this time. But I do have to say that one of the most beautiful things about Werner is that the focus on children of all backgrounds, all socioeconomic situations, all cultures and races coming together as one and learning how to appreciate one another and respect each other. And it starts when you are little. And that is one of the best gifts that I think Werner gives to children, and hopefully their families might learn from them, so that some of the things that we are experiencing in our greater culture today, one day will be far, far in the past. And I don't mean that as a downer. I think we should celebrate what Werner does for little children to help them appreciate those who are different as well as those who are like them. So I just want to say, here, keep it up.
Thank you, Jackie, for bringing that in, and Jasmine referred to that also earlier. And I want to give a particular shout out to Gabriel Guyton, who is our VP of Child and Family Services, who is a beautiful human being. Stephanie Kelly is working closely with Gabriel, our whole team. I mean, it is certainly not just Gabriel and Stephanie, but they are leading our curriculum work, which is very intentionally focused on anti-bias curriculum. They are thought leaders in our field nationally and internationally with a real commitment to this important work, to emotionally responsive practice, to doing what we can, not only to heal trauma through emotionally responsive practices, to try to prevent it through the values that we are sharing and respect that we are bringing into our classrooms and our hallways every day and our conversations every day. We are very much focused on that work, and it's really beautiful, the intentionality that is behind it at Werner, and increases, and I'm really proud of that and all the work that our team's doing.
Thank you, Marcia. I just wanted to take a quick second and just say thank you for everyone that donated to the Gift of Wonder. I can't begin to explain to you how much peace of mind it gave my family for the last 3 months that I didn't have to worry about my bills. My husband worked straight through all of this. He's never stopped working. And the fact that I could go to bed every night and wake up every morning and not have to worry that we weren't going to be able to pay our bills throughout this was the biggest blessing. And it's because of your donations, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for sharing your time with us today. Jackie, thank you, of course. Wonderful. And John, thank you for your leadership. And there's many board members participating today. So thank you all. Thanks everyone for all you've done. I know there's so many different folks who have been with us forever. So thank you. Thank you, Jasmine and Suzanne.
One more thank you from us. I'm just so appreciative of all who've given their time and their efforts and their commitment to this project. It's been already successful beyond what I ever dreamed it could be. Maybe beyond what Mom ever dreamed it could be. Although she had big dreams. So,
Yes, you did.
So thank you so much for all of your service to this dream. And I guess that's all I have to say is thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. I remember when at the renaming ceremony, my brother said very appropriately, he said, "Well, if there's nothing else, welcome to the family." And you all have, everybody who's been involved from the very beginning up to now has made this quite a family indeed. So thank you so much.
I see Sarah and Bill there. Sarah, anyone who remembers Danny and Hugh want to make a comment about her vision and their vision?
Richard, I do see one question from Kristen. Hey, Kristen, asking how it might be possible for her to make a donation to the Gift of Wonder campaign today, which was honestly not our intention, but a lovely question. So I'll let you field that one, Richard.
Yes, thank you, Kristen, for putting that question up in the chat. You can certainly visit our website, vernerearlylearning.org, and donate via the donation link there. And if you make a note for Gift of Wonder, we will make sure it's added to the total for the Gift of Wonder campaign. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you for mentioning that, Marcia. We will of course stay connected with you after this event today, and hopefully next June we'll be able to meet together and be able to be face to face and connecting that way. But this has been wonderful. Thank you all